If you're thinking about planning and packing for a big camping road trip, this video is for you. We're Mike and Fiona, a newly retired expat British couple living in Virginia. We're on a mission to visit all 63 of the USA's national parks.
We've been planning our big Alaska camping road trip for several months, and we've been planning the route to and in Alaska. We've also been thinking about activities to do along the way. Some excursions, like the flight seeing tour from Kotzebue, are must-dos to visit national parks. We've booked and paid for many of those. There are other tours, like our halibut fishing from Ninilchik, that aren't essential to our National Parks Challenge, but they were filling up fast, so we've booked those also.
Other tours, I think we'll just jump on when we get there, if they're available.
So we've thought through these activities we know we're going to do, and some we think we might do, and have come up with this list.
Yeah, so here's the list of things we've come up with that we think we'll be doing in Alaska. The first one is obviously we'll be tent camping in Alaska.
So for this, we have got multiple tents, all of everything to go along with it. And I just recently purchased 2 hot water bottles for those cold, cold nights.
We love hiking, and on this trip we'll be doing lots of that around the hills, mountains, but also glaciers. So we've packed our micro spikes for our glacier hiking. We'll also be, I love photography, and we'll be doing lots of landscape photography, wildlife photography hopefully. I also enjoy astrophotography, landscape astrophotography, and we're in some cities, so we'll do some street and nighttime, maybe some environmental portraiture, macro action. Well, we'll come to all those at the end of towards the end of the video, when I run through all the equipment I'm packing for my photography hobby.
So we have prepared to go cycling on this trip. We haven't done that before, but we are taking our 2 bicycles with us. We talked about this in our previous video, and I'm really looking forward to cycling around some of these paths. Some of them are specific for cycling, and I know there's one road closed down in Banff and it's only open to cyclists now. So that's going to be awesome.
Right. Most of our tent camping will be car camping, or truck camping in our case, in that we can carry a lot of equipment in the back of the truck, but there are a couple of occasions where we'll need to backpack a tent into the wilderness. So we've got a small tent for that, and a couple of rucksacks to carry all our gear in.
In addition, we've also got bear spray for each of us, which I think is a must based on the recent events in a couple of the national parks.
Yeah, yes, we've been watching the news on bear attacks with some concern. But far from bear attacks, we'll also be visiting museums, particularly along the way. We've got the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, and we're also going to the theatre in Cleveland to see a Moth Radio Hour show live.
So also baseball, I've mentioned this previously, but that was the only thing I could remember, but we are going to baseball games.
Yeah, so we'll need to have clothing and equipment sometimes for those activities, including the bathhouses we're going to visit in Hot Springs. I'm not sure we do those in our birthday suit or whether we take swimwear, but I guess we can pack some swimwear.
Yeah, and then we're going to do the flight seeing tours of 2 of the national parks. Which ones are those?
Oh, Kobuk Valley and Gates of the Arctic. Right,
so that we have to fly into. We'll probably take our spikes with those, because we might get to do a little bit of a hike out from the plane that lands us safely into the national park. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't think we need much equipment other than warm gear for those flight scene tours, but we will need warm and waterproof gear for our fishing expeditions. We'll be doing some halibut fishing and probably do some fly fishing along the way as well.
And I just remembered I need to get my binoculars out so I can take my binoculars with me.
Right. Boat tours, so we're going on some long boat tours, and I'm sure we'll see some whales and other marine mammals and
fingers crossed,
birds. Yep. And we'll be out there on the deck in quite possibly driving rain, so we'll have our wet weather gear with us there.
Now, I think we have booked an ATV tour. Where's that ATV tour?
It's in the Matsu Valley area.
Right. So I'm looking forward to that, but I think it's only one ATV and we'll be on the same ATV together.
I think it's covered as well, so probably just warm weather gear there.
Warm weather.
We'll be doing city tours, including probably a food tour in Anchorage, maybe Fairbanks. So we'll be taking clothes for that.
Now, it can be nice and warm in Anchorage, so I'm hoping we manage to take off our coats at some point on this trip.
Yeah, but we're pretty mindful also of what people have been warning us about bears, of course. So we've got bear spray, but also bugs, which apparently are enormous and plentiful. So the mosquitoes will be everywhere. So we have got some specialised equipment for that. Aside from bug spray, we've got some nets to go over our hats and some long sleeve t-shirts if it's warm weather.
And a pop-up bug-free camping eating tent.
Yeah, and as if all that wasn't enough, of course, when you're away for 3 months like we're going to be, we've got to think about everything we'll need to do in that 3 months. So I've got a toolkit packed in case we need to do some running repairs. We've got prescriptions have been filled for 3 months. We've thought about how we can pay bills back home and our access to banks and other activities.
Yeah.
So we've had to plan for all that as well.
So I purchased a tent pole repair kit because the last time we were in Badlands, it destroyed one of our tent poles and we had to go in search of another pole. So hopefully we'll be able to use that repair kit to fix any poles that break because of strong winds.
Yeah, so when you see our pictures of our truck filled with gear, you'll not be too surprised because we've got it packed for a lot of activities along the way.
Now, I am looking forward to when we're in Alaska, having all that daylight. That really changes the evening activities because you can still go for a hike in the evening because it's not dark. And it makes easier around the campfire, easier around the campsite. You haven't got to have all your lanterns out and be tripping over tent wires that you can't see in the dark. Now, it's only 2 days to go until we're on our way, and I'm starting to get a little nervous about being away from the creature comforts for 5 weeks before we return. So fingers crossed we can survive the trip all the way to Alaska.
Let's take a look at what we're dealing with in terms of storage capacity in the truck. So this is our 2018 Toyota Tundra 4.6. In the front cab where we'll be sat, we have an enormous center console, so there's quite a lot of space for knickknacks in there. Then in the back we have a stool that comes in handy for climbing up on the truck, but also I can store camera equipment underneath and to the side of that and still put clothes and other equipment on top all the way to the roof if necessary. And then in the bed we have a 6.5 foot bed, 5 foot wide, a little over 5 feet wide, and a lot of space, 20 inches under the flip top that's currently stowed. But we also have Fiona's handy storage drawers which fit all the camping cooking stuff and our pantry. The bike rack is currently in the bed, but that will be on the hitch, of course. And then looking in the side here, you'll see a lot of space, but this is where we put the power bank, the Bluetti AC180, and our cooler that runs off that power bank. We can plug the power bank into the 12 volt cigarette lighter socket there. So that's it. We'll be filling up the truck with our gear over the next couple of days, and then we'll be leaving on Friday. Well, we're starting to pack up the truck. Here comes Fiona. Our condo has a few of these little trolleys that come in really handy. that we can borrow, so saves us lifting everything. And we'll have to get the bike rack out of the back first, and then we'll start loading up the truck.
So this is our pile of equipment here. This is just part of it, and we're going to put that in the truck. I am going to cover it with a tarp today because the truck bed is pretty waterproof, but it does leak a little bit. So we invested in a pop-up fly screen kitchen tent. That's essential for Alaska, apparently, with all of the mosquitoes. We've had this pop-up table for multiple years. It was a gift, and it's going to be very useful for when there is no table. Now, we invested in 2 proper camp chairs because we're going to have to be comfortable on those cold evenings. And here is our big tent that we will use for like 3 nights in a row. This campsite, 3 nights in a row, the next campsite. Easy to put up, easy to take down. And this is our little tent for when we go to Brooks Falls. This is our self-inflating, very easy to carry 2-inch mattress for Brooks Falls. We have some inflatable pillows for Brooks Falls.
Have we got 2 of those mattresses, the inflatable?
Yes.
Yep, good.
Remember mine burst when we were in St. John, so I had to buy a new one.
That's the new one.
So this is the new one. This one's mine. Yours is in here.
Oh, okay, good, good. All right, we've got loads of stuff there. Good.
Yes. So we have small sleeping bags for when we go to Brooks Falls. We have another sleeping mattress. Oh, actually, I think this one's yours. This one's mine. Here's the hot water bottles for the cold nights. So even though we're going to Brooks Falls after we come back and then go back to Alaska, we're still taking everything with us. Here is the extension cord for when we have electricity in the campsite. The water cooler. 2 small chairs we might want to take to Brooks Falls. And then our camping stove, our gas canisters, all of those things that we need to be successful. So we're going to load this all into the back of the bed.
Oh, and here's Fiona with another load of stuff. Looks like we got the sleeping pad, sleeping bags.
I brought the battery too.
Right,
yep.
Yeah, the power pack.
Our big sleeping bags. So here is the battery pack, the Bluetti. That's going to keep us with power.
Well, so far so good. Everything seems to be fitting in.
Yeah.
When it comes to camera gear, I've got a lot to pack. My main shooter is a Sony A7R4 61 megapixel professional Sony camera. But in addition to that, I have a backup camera which looks almost identical. It's actually a Sony A7 III. My 2 main cameras, but we have the camera that I'm shooting this video on, and that I may shoot quite a lot of the video for the YouTube channel, and that's my Apple iPhone 17 Pro, and Fiona's got one as well. So we've got 2 Apple iPhones and 2 Sony cameras, but in addition to that, I'll take my action cam. This is a Insta360 action camera. It actually is waterproof and takes a 360 spherical image with these 2 cameras on the side of the unit. That often gets held on an invisible selfie stick. I have a camera that I always take on our national park trips, and that's a film camera. This is a self-erecting 1937 Voigtlander Bessa. It's 90 years old. Shoots enormous 6 by 9 centimeter 120 film negatives, and I'm taking some film along with me, and I'll shoot that mostly for landscapes, but it's really compact, so I can just pop it in my cargo pants and go hiking with it. When it comes to lenses, we have got a few of those. There's my walk around lens, the one that finds itself on the camera most of the time is a Sony full frame 24-105 with optical stabilization. Really nice general purpose lens. I'll be using for landscape mostly, I suspect, this 12-24 Sony full frame G lens, and that's great for dramatic landscapes. What else we have? Well, this is probably my go-to astrophotography lens. It's a 20mm 1.8, so it's gets a lot of light in, easy to use for astrophotography, and really nice lens, sharp across the whole frame, even wide open at 1.8. I always take my Zeiss 55mm 1.8. It's a great portrait lens, renders beautiful colors, and it's great for street photography or any portraiture that we do on the road. My go-to hiking lens, so if I'm just if I want a long lens, this is a 100-400 zoom, very high quality and relatively compact, so I can take this with me hiking and get shots of wildlife or some landscape shots, and also it's a pretty acceptable macro lens as well. It's not quite macro, but it's near macro in that it focuses very closely. Finally, my big prime lens that we'll be taking for specialist purposes for distant wildlife shots or small bird photography. When I'm birding in the morning, I often put this lens on. Then I have to carry around all the equipment, of course, for processing and storing my pictures. I'll be taking Apple iPad, my Apple MacBook Air, and there's a bunch of accessories in my camera bag here, including a 2 terabyte storage drive. We'll have to pack all this stuff up and make it accessible when we're on the road, but this will all be coming with us to Alaska.